There is no quarrel with the proposition that in cases where the High Court finds the inquiry to be deficient either procedurally or otherwise, the proper course always is to remand the matter back to the concerned authority to redo the same afresh. Stop. That course could have been followed even in the present case. Stop. The matter could be remanded back to the disciplinary authority or to the inquiry officer for a proper inquiry and a fresh report and order. Stop. But that course may not have been the only course open in a given situation. Stop. There may be situations where, because of a long time lag or such other supervening circumstances, the Writ Court considers it unfair, harsh, or otherwise unnecessary to direct a fresh inquiry or fresh order by the competent authority. Stop. That is precisely what the High Court has done in the case at hand. Stop. The High Court has taken note of the fact that the respondent had been placed under suspension in the year 2004 and dismissed in the year 2005. Stop. The dismissal order was challenged in the High Court in the year 2006, but the writ petition remained pending in the High Court for nearly 7 years till 2013. Stop. During the intervening period, the respondent superannuated on 30th November 2011. Stop. Not only that he had suffered a heart attack and a stroke that has rendered him physically disabled and confined to bed. Stop. The respondent may by now have turned 65 years of age. Stop. Any remand either to the inquiry officer for a fresh inquiry or to the disciplinary authority for a fresh order or even to the appellate authority would thus be very harsh and would practically deny to the respondent any relief whatsoever. Stop. Superadded to all this is the fact that the High Court has found that there was no allegation nor any evidence to show the extent of loss, if any, suffered by the bank on account of the alleged misconduct of the respondent. The discretion vested in the High Court in not remanding the matter back was therefore properly exercised. Stop para. The next question is whether the respondent would be entitled to claim arrears of salary as part of service retirement benefits in full or part. Stop. The High Court has been rather ambivalent in that regard. Stop. We say so because while the High Court has directed release of service retirement benefits, it is not clear whether the same would include salary for the period between the date of removal and the date of superannuation. Stop. Taking a liberal view of the matter, we assume that the High Court's direction for release of service benefits would include the release of his salaries also for the period mentioned above. Stop. We are, however, of the opinion that while proceedings need not be remanded for a fresh start from the beginning, grant of full salary for the period between the date of dismissal and the date of superannuation would not also be justified. Stop.